All right. Let's get started here. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about your realtor's value or value proposition and the services that they bring to you and the expertise that they bring to you. Now, on my screen is a email that recently come out, and for the sake of protecting the not so innocent and protecting the seller of this said property that was listed by a different brokerage. Um, I got rid of some details and put it on a Word docs. But I wanted to share the main body of the email with you and kind of dissect it and what it means. At least means to me, and it should mean to you. Now, as we all know, when it comes to selling real estate, there's two sides to the transaction. There's the buyer side and the seller side. And you know, us as agents, as realtors, we can work for the seller, we can work for the buyer, we can work for both. Um, Irregardless, if you're hiring a realtor, you should know or understand the value that they bring to the table. Um, and unfortunately, there are some parcels of real estate that are harder to sell than others, and that's okay. Like if it was all easy, everybody would do it. But the reality is you know, this particular email come from somebody that's been in the business for several years. They own a brokerage. They are the broker. So you would expect that they have a higher level of due diligence or responsibility that they've placed in their job. Um, but unfortunately, that was not the case with this particular deal. So anyway, let's jump in here and I'll talk to you a little bit about what I'm kind of going after here. So we see that it was from XYZ person from ABC Real Estate Company, and they sent it out on a Tuesday, and I deleted the date. Um, right here, subject MLS member mail. So, as a member of the MLS, I can send out broadcasts to all other agents within the MLS or certain agents, and it's kind of a shotgun blast approach email to all realtors. Anyway, you can see that it was sent to me here. It says, "Hello all. The stunning home is back on the market and no fault of the sellers." That I believe is mostly true. Two appraisers said prior to the listing it would qualify for all financing. Let's just stop there for a second. So the listing agent already identified that this was going to be a really tough sale. Great for that realtor. Good job. However, where I stumbled is reached out to two appraisers to qualify for financing. Why in the world would you reach out to the appraiser to see if it qualifies for financing? Now, I understand the lender's going to be going out on site to, one, address the value to make sure the value is sufficient to support the loan, and two, they're going to be doing inspections on behalf of the lender to make sure it fits the box and the requirements for a specific loan type. I get that. But why would said listing agent want to put the burden of this property on just two appraisers about whether to qualify or not if it's questionable? So anyway, the backdrop is it's been on the market for a few weeks. I can attest that it's was up for sale. It went under contract. That deal fell apart. Went back on the market. Went under contract real quick again. And here we are again, that struggling. So anyway, it goes on to say, but lenders are having a hard time finding investors to take the loan. So now we see kind of the light here. Maybe had said broker contacted lenders prior to launching this listing for sale, they would have been able to prohibit what this seller is going through at this moment. Totally frustrating. Like, put yourself in the shoes of this seller all of a sudden. You've been up for sale, under contract, up for sale, under contract. You've lost 2 deals. It would have taken, and I can attest to this with personal experience. I've had properties that are hard to sell. My first job is to put everything, put all the motions on hold, put all my daily routines on hold, put all my checklists on hold that I need to for that seller. And I start sending out inquiries to the lenders, not the appraisers, the lenders. That's where the money's coming from. The appraisers aren't providing the money for this. They're not putting up the money for the buyers doing mortgages. They're just providing a service for the buyer and the lender. In a matter of 2 or 3 days, you could have a short list of local lenders that would be willing and able to finance this property. Now, this part's true. Hard to find investors. Here's what you need to understand. Most mortgage lenders, most mortgage originators, they're all selling the same type of loans. VA, FHA, rural development, WCDA, conventional. There's 5 loan types, right? For the most part, jumbo loans. However, where they start to differentiate is the investors, is the underwriters. You know, some banks have overlays that are stricter than other banks. Some of these mortgage lenders are brokers themselves, which means they can kind of pull some better shots and get rid of some overlays and make the lending process easier. So, and I've wholeheartedly done this in the past on properties that are hard to sell. And sometimes you get an answer back that maybe you don't want to hear, like, hey, Jason, that property is not financeable with any programs that we got. Government backed or private backed loans, it doesn't matter, it isn't going to work. Okay. I hate to hear that. And it's really going to suck to share that with my seller, my customer that I want to work for. However, it's better to know these things up front. This poor seller is, several weeks into the market now. On again, off again, on again, off again. The emotional roller coaster that they're going through has got to be taking a toll to some level. So anyway, said broker goes on to say, for that reason, we are stating it will qualify for VA financing or an in-house loan only. Again, I think this is a little misleading. There are investors, like, you can shop for money and shop for money and shop for money. And buyers that have worked with us or hired us, they've heard us say this over and over. You don't quit shopping for money until you've exhausted everything. Sometimes that may take you out of town, okay? Sometimes that may not be your friend or your sister or brother or cousin or whatever. But the reality is, you shop for money until you've exhausted every resource there is. So that may turn out to be true. I don't know. I know I got a buyer interested in this property at the moment. We're about to find out. If I help my buyers make an offer here, we're about to find out. Anyway, if your interest goes on to say, the letter goes on to say, or email, this was, if you have buyers interested, please show this wonderful property. It's a pretty cool property. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Kind regards, XYZ Realtor. Back to value proposition. You need to have some hard conversations with whoever you're going to hire. I don't care if it's me, somebody that works here, or another brokerage, another real estate agent with another brokerage. You got to have some hard conversations once in a while. Make it real. Because this could have been avoided. And I know, so again, based on personal experience, I've dealt with situations like this. Sometimes you're going to see me, like situations like this, you're going to see me roll out a property for sale, sold as is, where is, and we're going to do an auction, or we're going to do, um, sealed bids or something, because we need to do it differently. We need to do it better. And of course, the seller wants to maximize the price that a buyer is willing to give them, but more importantly, get terms of a contract that will take them to closing. It doesn't matter the price. And here's a good example of it. It's more about terms than it is the price. Because if you ain't got the right terms, it doesn't matter the price. So anyway, just wanted to share this with you because this was a real life scenario. Um, and I wanted to point it out that, these things happen all the time and they're unfortunate. But go through a series of questions or scenarios with the person whom you want to hire, and just be sure that they got the right value proposition that they're bringing to the table, and not that, just because they're your friend or your family doesn't mean they're always going to be the right fit for you. So anyway, hope you got a little education out of this or useful information out of this. Hope this helps you in some regard, one way or the other. And be sure to hit that subscribe button or the notifications button. We got several properties coming up for sale here in the next few months that we're pretty excited about. And yeah, just it's going to be fun. So anyway, thanks for watching along and being a part of our YouTube channel here. Catch you on the next video. Talk to you later.